The Vidar is one of those ships that I use on a daily basis, and I believe that everybody who plays and is at that level to get it should start working on it, because like most specialty ships in Fleet Command, it's going to open up a lot of research or refinery opportunities. And that's what this video is. I'm going to be going over the gameplay loop, kind of what to expect, and also go over the refinery and what the uses and the benefits are of the Vidar. But the Vidar is a infiltrate or a interceptor for the Borg, and it is primarily used to hunt Borg tactical probes for their inert nanoprobes. You can get the ship at 25, and here are the actual abilities for the ship. The Vidar's damage is increased by 24,000% against Borg hostiles, and that will go up as you get the level to go up. And as you can see here, it unlocks at 25. And then as far as like upgrading, it's pretty cheap on the materials and the resources. Really, the charged nanoprobes is what's going to be your bottleneck here. But as you tier this up, then you'll start getting more of these per day. And there's also primes available to kind of increase that as well. So it does overall good damage. And there's some things to keep in mind when you're selecting targets and stuff. With that being said, let's go and look at the systems, and we'll talk about the crew and everything. There's a couple of crews you can do. I only have the basic crew going on right now. I'm still waiting on my Strange New Worlds Pike to get like the higher end one. But in order to get to the Borg tactical probes, which are in these systems here, I'll show you what these look like. These are all battleships, and they're going to have really high power, but don't let that confuse you, because you do so much bonus damage with this ship that you'll be fine. And they drop these inert nanoprobes, is what you want. The idea is that you're going to go to these systems, you're going to use a transwarp cell, go to these systems, and your goal is to fill up your cargo and get as much nanoprobes as you can with a single hull. So as you kind of go up and tier up this ship, you'll be able to go up. I usually go and farm here in the 33 system. So if you go into here, you'll see these guys are like 7 million. Now, when you first start with the Vidar, when you first get it kind of unlocked and everything, you're probably going to be over here. I'm using these transwarp cells in the level 25 range. So if you actually look in these systems, this is like the very beginning systems. And so you want to make sure you are killing these things within 3 rounds. Once you get to the 4th round, these probes will do a massive amount of damage. So if you're not killing these probes in 3 rounds or less, then you definitely want to either stick to the lower level or not progress up to a higher level. So right now, let's go ahead. Since we're over here, I'm going to show you the kind of the gameplay loop here. We have to use a transwarp cell to get in here. We'll go ahead and travel in there, but I'll talk about the transwarp cells a little bit. You can only hold 8 of them, and you get 2 daily every 24 hours. So normally what I do is I pretty much keep myself at like 6 of these, just to keep the inert nanoprobes up, and then I save 6 of them for if there's an event for Borg probes or whatever. The other thing you're looking for when you come to these systems is a simulated Ferengi transport, and those will drop a piece of loot that we'll talk about from the refinery here. But see these guys here, we're gonna go and attack one of these, and then we'll look at the battle log. Now these guys, I was hanging out at like 3 rounds on these guys for a while. The only higher up than this is like I think 35 or so, which I'm gonna wait till I'm completely tiered out. I started working on the Vidar before the Independent Archive came out, so, and that's another benefit to actually getting this ship done, and I'll talk about that too. So let's go and look at our inbox. Look at this first one here. So you can see it took barely any damage, and the idea is that we want most of the damage to go to our shield, so it's regen, and the less damage we take to the hull, the longer we can stay in system and everything. Let's look at the battle log here. So these are, I'm at 1 round on these guys now, so that means that I can actually move up to the next tier if I wanted to, but I usually find that I can fill up my entire hold with inert nanoprobes from the 33 system without actually losing my ship at all. I'll have, you know, quite a bit of hull left and all of that. To give you an idea of where all the other systems are, so down over here, this is the 25s. So you'll be here when you first start, and then you'll move over here. You see, you can just click on this. It says transwarp cell. This is your 26s, your 27 systems right there. And then you can go up to 28s and stuff like that too. This is 28 is up here in between Federation space and Romulan space. So 228s, a 29, and a 30. And then down here is 31, 32, 33. Let's go and talk about the refinery. If you go to the refinery, you'll go to Borg check here, and this is where the refinery is unlocked at. So this is where we turn in our nanoprobes. This will change as you tier up. As you tier up the Vidar, you'll get more charged nanoprobes per day, and that's what's used to upgrade. You can also change or turn in inert nanoprobes for active nanoprobes. These will be used to actually promote your Borg crew members, but also you can come in here, you can actually if you're doing Borg solo armadas and stuff, this is where like all that turn in and stuff. But the other big benefit here is actually the access to taking charged nanoprobes and turning them into faction credits or reputation. I usually recommend waiting until you're like a pretty high tier to make this valuable, but right now I'm at tier 8, so I'm almost done, and this is 43,000 fed for 4,000 charged nanos. But since I'm still actively upgrading this ship, I'm not using this stuff as well. But also you can come in here, and this is a good source of credits if you're getting VPs on the faction store and you need this kind of access, which is great. This Latinum Antique Refinery, this is what I was talking about. There'll be a token that drops if you go into one of those Borg systems, those tactical Borg probe systems, and you see a survey ship. It's a simulated Ferengi transport, and it'll drop a token that'll allow you to turn in for the Latinum Antique Refinery, and this gives you a chance to get grade 3 lucrative mining tokens, and also additional transwarps. The big reason why I got into the Vidar in the first place was to actually unlock these mining systems here. Now you have a chance of getting this lucrative 3-star mine transwarp cell, and there's one system down here for 3-star gas, crystal, and ore. And if you go to these systems here, you look at them, these are going to be 1 million units, 1 million unit resources. And in most servers, it's against our rules of engagement to actually PvP inside here. I've actually come in here and pulled 2 million out in a single trip, and that's allowed me to stockpile raw. I literally got into Vidar because of just mining and getting raw resources. Let's go ahead and just kind of run through the loop and kind of what it looks like. These guys move pretty quick. Your impulse speed is probably going to be pretty slow for the most part. I usually try to take the probes that are heading towards me so that I'm not, kind of tailing them for the most part. And if you don't have a decent enough crew, you might want to wait a couple seconds in between runs to let your shield completely max out, because the thing is, you want to make sure you get as many nanoprobes as possible before you go boom. Now, I wouldn't recommend actually like recalling back. If you just kill Borg probes until your ship explodes, you won't lose any loot. So that's normally what I'll do. Now, for me, since I'm killing these 33s in one round, I have a lot of hull left whenever I reach max cargo. I'm getting probably about 10 or 11,000 per run here. And a lot of that has to do with the new independent archive that's out now, which makes this an even more intriguing option to get started with. Let's go and look at the archive here. There's, as you tier up the Vidar and stuff, you'll be unlocking each one of these tiers. Each one of these tiers is going to give you more nanoprobe loot and more damage towards them as well. When we actually complete mastery for this, we will be able to claim all of this in the archive awards every single day, which is great because we're going to be able to have 75,000 charged nanoprobes to turn into faction credits or reputation or an active nanoprobes here to do our Borg promotions and stuff. But also we're going to get a lot of the credits as well too every day, and also about 54,000 reputation here. We'll get Borg solo directives, and also the chance at getting our Latino cells, our additional transwarp cells, or even the lucrative transwarp cell. This is important because this is going to give us an extra source of charged nanoprobes when we actually start going into the Vidar Talios, which will be doing the same thing. And once this one's maxed out, there's even more reputation and charged nanoprobes and everything. So this ship is one of the highest recommended ships I can talk about in terms of like early, Ops 25. You should really be looking into getting this ship. All right, we have completed a run, and as you can see here, we've done really well. I've upgraded this ship quite a bit. but we did 578,000 for this run. And whenever you start off, the runs can be a little bit longer, and you might not, it might take a little bit long, but it's like 10 minutes or so for me now. And as you can see, I can definitely move up, right? And these are the 31, 32, 33. Now, to give you some idea, over here is where the higher up ones are. So like my next jump would technically be this 36 system, but I have to tier up first, or I have to get a more warp range. So I'm only at 41, I need 45 to get to 36. But then this is where your 37, 38, 40, and then over here all the way up to like 58 are for these as well. So let's get this guy docked, and then we'll kind of go over the ship again. I'll talk about, the upgrades and all that stuff. Upgrading is pretty easy, but just the idea is that you're going to be just using a couple of transwarp cells a day, stockpiling a little bit. My turn in today for full pull on the charged nanoprobes at tier 8, it's like 750,000 inert nanoprobes, and then I can go out and do 2 transwarp cell runs and pull a little over 1 million. So that's why I keep it there. I always try to keep, at least 3 or 4 transwarp cells for in case there's a Borg tactical probe event or something that I need them for. You never want to, have an event where you have to kill them and, not and have to wait for your daily transwarp cells. All right, we are docked up. So let's go ahead and look at this ship. We're going to manage here so you can see a better idea. Now, the upgrades, as you go through here, each one of these upgrades are going to require the charged nanoprobes. That's what you're going to be saving for your upgrades. I think it's very, very important to save all your charged nanoprobes for tearing this thing up as quickly as possible. And the higher you can get the tier before you start using the refinery for credits and rep, the better, because you're going to get more value for that stuff as well. So you see I'm tier 8. Once I get these last 2 stations done, that's basically it. I'll tier it up to 9 and it'll be done. Now, then at that point we'll start working on the next version, next version of this. Once you get the next version of the ship, you'll be able to actually do better in terms of the daily kind of gameplay loop, because you'll be able to take the Vidar and the Vidar Talios out at the same time, and even in the same system if you want, and really kind of start stocking those inert nanoprobes. Let's look at these officers real quick. So this is what I said. Don't ignore this guy here. This is I swapped this ship in and out with the Borg cube. This guy is here for the lower deck charging for the Borg cube. But the more importantly, you want to go 7, 8, 9 in the top, and then you want your lower decks to be these 2 guys, the one that gives you more nanoprobes, and then that'll give you higher cargo space. But that's pretty much it. And like you can see here, we can stack a little bit more in here to get up to our 300, which isn't really needed. As you can see, had plenty of hull left for that run. But if we go up to like 36 or so, once we get the warp range, then what I'll do is I'll come in here and see we need health. So I'll go select health. I'll throw a health guy in here, and then, kind of round it out for attack and everything. And then maybe throw a defense one in here as well, and get it up. But it's not really needed at the moment now, but you want to kind of keep, these bars as full as possible as you're kind of leveling up and stuff. Now, one of the other crews you can just work towards for this, which is better in the higher level, would be the Strange New World crew. So you could have something like, you'd have Una, and let's go to group here, and then I want to say it's Uhura here, and what she does is she gets 500% dodge for the total attack when you're attacking battleships from an interceptor. The Vidar is an interceptor. We are attacking battleships, so this works really, really well. And then the captain here would be Strange New World Pike, which I'm still working on. I need like 10 shards for that guy. And then she gives a impulse speed, so it'll allow you to keep up with those battleships, those probes a little bit better. But you could also, until you're waiting on Pike, whatever, you can put her in the captain's spot, and she'll actually give you 100% more weapon damage and stuff. But I would say Uhura, Una, and Pike, Strange New Worlds would be a lot more efficient, I think, in the 30s plus for hunting probes and everything. But I've had pretty good luck with just running 7, 8, 9 with the max cargo and the nano probe drop from in the lows and stuff. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel for more fleet command videos and all that stuff. But like I said, I highly recommend this ship. The Refinery is great. Let's go and look at the Refinery one more time. It's under Borg Tech. I would highly recommend, again, if you start working on this ship, save all of your charged nanoprobes for tiering it up. The higher you get your tier, the more value you're going to get out of the credit refineries, and also the reputation refineries and stuff. And also, when you're looking for those systems, when you start about to do a run for a transwarp cell, you can look into those systems before you use a transwarp cell. So if you can look into them and you can see that there is a simulated Ferengi transport in there, then go to that system and kill that guy, because they're going to drop a lot of inerts, and you're going to get this token here for that. And I'll show you what that looks like. If you go to items and to other, this is also where your transwarps will show up. But this right here, the Latinum Antique, right here, I got 19 of them. That's why I'm not really too worried about, looking for systems that have the survey in it. But these, you turn these in once a day or once every couple days for a chance to get an additional transwarp cell. Now, like I said, there is a limit on how many transwarp cells you can hold. Like you saw at the beginning of this video, I had 9. That's because I got one from, I had 8, and then I used one of my Latinum Antiques. And if you get a transwarp from that, it will go past the limit. But if I'm at 8 right now, I will not be able to claim the daily claim over here. So what I normally do is I keep I'll do runs on my Vidar until I'm down to 6. That way I'm not leaving any transwarp cells on the table and stuff. So today I'll be doing 2 more runs for this, and I'll be good to go for my transwarps tomorrow. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've started working on this ship, or if you have any other crew ideas, or everybody's mileage may vary, but open discussion in the comments about the Vidar. I think it's one of the best ships that you can get early on, and it's worth putting the resource and the time into and everything, just because of the utility of the Refinery. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.